Move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Tokwe Makodige. Welcome back. My first time seeing you on set. How was your trip?
It was beautiful. I love your jewelry.
Oh,
like,
thank you.
Everything is. You are
all
Smith.
Yeah,
all jeweled up.
Yeah. How you doing?
So
How was
nice.
your trip?
Trip was beautiful.
So you're driving across the US?
Yeah, actually, really love driving over there. When you indicate that you want to go left, people actually wait for you. Not like here when you indicate, that's why everybody will now like, you know, go enter the road, you know, that kind of thing. So it's just some small courtesy that is given that can go a long way here. But I'm counting down to the Game of Money conference. Register. You guys are going to do, my mom is running away, but I'm going to grab you to do video for me today. To promote the She's running away too.
You said Miriam is running away.
So, but no, you're not available for me to do video today, but I'm promoting the Game of Money conference. It's 11 days away or 12 days away, so it's really on the 10th. Yes, it's on the 10th of May. And
Saturday morning,
10th of May. It's a full day.
It's free, but you just want people to register.
No, it's not free. They are going to pay. Yeah, they are going to pay. Why do I want? Last year we didn't have food, and people were really hungry. So this year there is food, writing materials. Like it's a proper program, but it's the money is covering writing materials. It's 15,000 naira. It's not like it's a whole lot of money. It's just a commitment fee, covering food, writing materials, and they're getting a swag bag. They're getting like a proper tote bag, really nice. So the money actually is
not for revenue.
It's not for revenue. It is. They are getting materials worth much more than that. It's a very overwhelming process. I really.
Fantastic. Welcome
my
back.
hands are full.
That's good. It's good. Busy is good. Busy is good. Hello, Alaja Nima Akashat Zabere. These your glasses is matching your hijab. How you doing?
I'm still wearing Yam Fashions dresses last minute. You know those mornings when you drag.
Yeah.
I woke up for my night prayers. I was done, and then it was time to shower. I was like, I'm not going to shower. And I went to sleep. My husband was wondering, are you walking today? I said, yes. Why are you sleeping? I said, I feel like sleeping. Until I was almost late. Just one of those mornings. It was a very, very hectic weekend for me. I'm dealing with a lot. I'm asking for grace. And I hope that this passes quickly.
Amen.
It's Alima's birthday today.
In this our drama, you remember somebody's birthday.
Yes, Alima Kodri. Ali Card, number one, my PA. Happy birthday to you. I hope you're watching. And I hope that you have a blast. You actually do celebrate this year's birthday.
Fantastic. How are you doing, Mariam Longa?
I'm doing well. Over the weekend, I was supposed to be somewhere, but as you know, when people need to understand that when they take your time, you know, from something, it comes at a cost, you know. I missed something that I was really looking forward to going, you know, because someone just thought, well, if I take away a few hours from the actual time that we had planned, then it's fine, you know. That's something we don't have here. We just think that time means nothing, you know. And for me, it cost me something at this weekend. So
you walk into the bank in the US and you don't have appointments, you will book appointment too. They don't answer you. Even if you are bringing money, everything is by appointment. The bank, you don't just walk into the bank.
Nice salon is
everything is appointment. You have to book appointment because time is money. Yeah, so important.
Yeah,
we
so
do it
for
here,
me-
you lose money. So it's, they just don't understand
but
the terrain.
I
First
feel
of all,
like
just say
we would
understand the terrain.
adjust. We
Yeah.
would adjust
It's
when we
discipline.
realize that there's a cost to it.
I wanted to yab somebody. I'm trying to very hard not that. So the person will not
Yes,
stop
yes,
yabbing them. Because the yab that is very is a needed yabbing. But if I yab the person, they will know I'm yabbing them. The person will not be happy. But this is a very important yabbing.
Okay.
Okay, so
So,
how do you want to say it?
How do I want to say it? You know, your people, when you go to organize an event, Mariah, let me go on a short break.
Gist us.
I will gist the people. I cannot gist the public because if I gist them this thing,
The person will be
people,
really upset.
person will be angry, but it's important. When I gist you, people
They
now
will
advise me on how to
say it.
Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So they told me not to share it. I mean, I shouldn't share it.
As a Lagos woman, you won't relate.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. The nation. The nation. Shatima Ganduje governors to receive Oborebori into APC. World Bank backs federal government job creation plan. Fitch upgrades Lagos state to stable. Security operatives held for selling arms to bandits. And yeah, that's the story. Let's take the major headline. Who has that?
Okay, I have the major headline. As YK said, the Hopping has finally produced the results. So today, in Asaba, the APC chairman, former governor of Kano, Governor Ganduje, as well as APT ESCO members will be receiving the defecting PDP members from Delta State into the APC. You know, last week, the most trending political news is, of course, the governor of Delta State leading most PDP members in Delta State into the party. So he's also moving to the party with the former governor, Okowa, who is defecting. Delta State is worthy of note because since 1999 it's been a PDP state. It's never shifted, but now he's moving, as well as the House of Assembly Speaker and the state is also moving with him. I think all constituents, all 3 senatorial seats are also moving with him. So the APC is taking an entourage to receive them. The party ESCO's 10 governors from the Progressive Governors Forum, all state governors will be there. Party members, even the Minister of Aviation, who is an APC member in the state, will also be receiving him. The former APC chairman, Shomole, will also be there. And they've already started decorating the venue, APC flags. They are going to be receiving their room today.
It's a big event in a nutshell.
It is a huge one.
Okay.
And this is a sweep of, you know, of all party members in the PDP to the APC today. And so criticism as well as applause,
Of course.
are flying around. And what
Okay.
to say?
Which story?
I have a security operative who sells state arms and ammunition to bandits has been arrested by the DSS.
Good
Good
one.
news, yes. So they said this person is yet to be named. I don't know why they are not naming and putting a picture yet. He was arrested with a cache of arms, which he planned to sell to criminal elements for 4 million. They said he was arrested alongside 53 others by the Kaduna command of the DSS during raids on dark spots in Northwest 8 suspected bandits, 22 of their suspected informants, 4 gun runners, 2 human traffickers, 4 cyber fraudsters, 2 vandals, and 12 family members of suspected bandits were also arrested. The governor also, talked about it, says it was a successful operation in the state. He lauded the president and the DSS DG for, good work, a good job done. So this particular person, the security operatives that sells our arms and ammunition, they said that he was working in Zamfara State, and he said that the ammunition that he sold to these bandits were meant to fight bandits in Zamfara and the environs. The same bandits that they were supposed to fight is what he now took these arms and sold them to. So anyway, we thank God for the arrest. And we hope
people
that
should not be arrested. Some people should be eliminated. Like,
Be arrested.
What's
A nice way to say.
What are you trying to do? Just eliminate these people. Okay, moving on now to a story on Fitch. So Fitch has upgraded Lagos to a B+ from a B-, according to the internationally renowned rating agency, through the long-term foreign and local currency issuer default rating, that is IDRS. They increased the ratings of Lagos, Kaduna, Kogi, and Oyo states from B- to B+. This is a big boost for investors' confidence and a testimony to the strength of the governor's themes agenda. According to information posted on the agency's website, the outlook for all 4 states remained quite stable. The rating follows the upgrade, and Fitch, in line with his rating criteria, mirrored the sovereign upgrade in the affected states, given the predominant role of the federal government in Nigeria's intergovernmental fiscal system. So it's really how the federal government has readjusted that is helping the states to take advantage of some of these opportunities. So I mean, this is just.
But it's kudos to the leadership of the states too, because it shows that since it did not go round all the states, it means the governors must have done something. Other good news coming in from the federal government, from the World Bank, because they've partnered to on a job creation move. So the coordinating minister of economy, Waledun, said that he spoke on the sidelines, just concluded World Bank IMF spring meeting in Washington, that there's a partnership ongoing to support and stimulate job creation via digital infrastructural rollout. So the plan is they'll provide data, which is internet, for young people across the states in digital infrastructural hub, fiber optic networks, with the expectation that with this data access and internet access, jobs can be created locally to serve the global space. He also challenged the World Bank to adjust some of our ratings, because he said that they should provide incentives for governments they can see are doing activities to stimulate growth within their economy, and those incentives align with global development priorities. So they should create incentives, since this current administration has been carrying out activities that align with global priorities. More incentives should come to them, but this activity is in partnership. I hope that when the infrastructure is provided, we educate our citizens not to angrily destroy the infrastructure that is meant to bring them employment or self-employment and ways to earn money.
Okay, moving on to Daily Sun. 2027, we're still in good shape, says P2P. NEC approves Textile Board $90 billion agribusiness plan. Governor strategize on how to fight insecurity. I've heard that before. Plateau, soldiers fall attack on Bassa community, neutralize bandits, arrest 2. NIMET calls off strike, airlines lament losses. Again, gunmen abduct Catholic priest in Kaduna. Let's take one story for the break.
Okay, quickly, just a recap of what I had taken on Friday. So the National Economic Council had approved, they went ahead to approve the establishment of the Cotton, Textile and Garment Development Board, and endorsed the agribusiness expansion and livestock transformation agenda projected to generate about $90 billion in the economic value by 2035. And so this approval also follows, they also approved, the council included the establishment of the Green Imperative Project, the national office in Abuja and regional offices across the 6 geopolitical zones. While NEC was sitting, they also observed the minute silence in recognition of the victims of the recent killings in Benue, Plateau and other areas across the country. and they emphasized the need for something to be done, but they then delayed state police talks that was part of the discussions at the NEC.
Okay.
But I'm even very positive about this cotton, textile and garment development board. It's something that is very precious to me right now. I'm hoping that they don't just talk around it, that there's actually
implemented.
It's important. It will create employment, it will boost our economy, and give us a place of respect around the world.
Okay, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Now for tete they don dey put spices inside food because of the aroma and better way they do for body. But una need plenty space to keep all your spices if you must to enjoy the better inside theirs. Now, Mr. Chef Mixed Spices Seasoning Cube don land with all your rich spices wey you love inside one cube. Mr. Chef Mixed Spices Seasoning Cube. Spice mix exactly the way you like am. They available for seasoning cube. Try am today.
What can I get you?
Can I have some more golden penny pasta?
Tell me why you want more.
Because I enjoy slopping.
This is why I love my golden penny pasta. It's my family's favorite. What's your reason?
It's great for a romantic dinner.
Reminds me of home every time. It truly satisfying me.
It's my ultimate comfort food.
And make delicious combos.
I just want more.
Because I love you all.
What's your reason? Great taste? Good nutrition.
What food do you need?
Guys, food is ready.
Cook to impress.
Does your toothpaste give you complete fresh protection? New Close-Up Toothpaste Complete Fresh Protection takes care of your 5 important oral care needs. It gives you strong teeth, prevents tooth holes, cleans deeply.
With TVC News. My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Daily Sun. And let me take the major headline because PDP is saying that they're still in good shape. We have the acting national chairman, Umar Damagum, has described the defection of the Delta State governor, the entire members of his team to APC as unfortunate He stated this during the presentation of certificates to the PDP candidate for the November 8th Anambra State governorship poll. He was speaking, saying that Damagum expressed optimism that the defection would not have any adverse effect on the fortunes of the opposition party, which is the PDP. He said this because the 2027 poll is a direct contest between President Bola Tinubu and the Nigerian people. He stressed that the outcome of the next general elections would not be determined by the number of governors political party has. He also recalled that the 2023 polls, former Anambra governor and Labour Party did not have any governor in their party prior to the contest, but performed very well at the polls. So it is very sad and unfortunate because of me. If there is any state that should think that way, it should not be Delta, because the party is very magnanimous. I thank God that in their message, they didn't say that the party didn't do anything wrong or than good. So, I mean, I guess that Delta sweep was a really hard hit for PDP, but they are trusting that they will still, it will affect their chances in 2027.
Well, let's talk about what we people are facing, because the Sun carried the news of the fierce price war that I don't expect there should be a price war, but apparently there's a price war between NNPC and Dangote Petroleum Refinery, and that this is now affecting the independents. Independent marketers are suffering, and to maximize their profits, majority of them are adjusting their fuel dispense price. No, not price.
They have adjusted,
the value you are getting. So the word is they've adjusted their petrol retail machine, and that the dispensing machine is now fraudulent. That what you get is not what you ought to get. They said they found out from, Okada riders know they buy 10 litre and they know how long 10 litre should last them, and majority of them gave feedback to the Sun that when they buy 10 litre, what they actually get now is 8 litres of fuel that comes to them, and that's because, except you are buying from NNPC filling station or you are buying from affiliates of Dangote refinery filling station. If you're not buying from any of them, if you're buying from independent marketers, most likely you will not be getting the real value you're supposed to get, because they also want to make money, and the price war has made them drive their price down. But to make profits, they are adjusting. We have agencies who are meant to look into this. So we are expecting that they should investigate and lock down those that are culprits of the adjustments. And if it is not profitable for independents, that's why we've deregulated. Sell at the price that works for you, but don't cheat your customers. It's wrong.
Troops of Operation Safe Haven, yesterday they foiled another attempt to attack a village in Basa local government area of Plateau State. Major Samson Zakom, who is the media officer of Operation Safe Haven, said that the attack was met with strong resistance from soldiers who responded to a distress call that had been made by a resident. He said that his troops swiftly mobilized to the scene, made contact with the attackers, who, when they saw them, they fled, to, they said, an adjoining high ground. But they were one of the assailants was neutralized during a gun duel. But they said, additionally, April 22nd, troops of Sector 2, Operation Safe Haven, also conducted a stop and search in Kadoroko district of Wasi local government. During the search, they arrested three suspected robbers. They had with them in their possession a fabricated pistol, and they were brought in for interrogation. And they offered to lead the police to where their hideout was and all the other gang members. On their way there, they decided to fight the police, and so they were neutralized. Of course, you know what neutralized means. And the state is saying that they're still going to be they are going to continue doing what is best for the state, and in protecting the state from people like this.
Okay. Moving on now to Vanguard. Tinubu to opposition: don't blame me for inability to manage your affairs. Defections, we talked about that already. We must resist one-party state agenda, says Akinola, Odinkalo, Jinadu, and others. Outrage over World Bank's report on poverty in Nigeria as CSOs demand urgent actions. Okay, which story?
Okay, so the president's spokesman, Bayo Onanuga, decided to respond to the people criticizing for the APC for the defection. He says that the president's business is not to strengthen opposition and organize opposition that they should deal with their poor organization within their parties by themselves as their gross incompetence and deal with it by themselves. It says that when the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, defected to the Social Democratic Party, there were commendations from corners, and there was no condemnation. But now that the PDP has decided, the Delta State machinery of governance has decided to, defect him en masse to the APC, there are now condemnations. It is about people's will and interest and political affiliations that they want part time. It is not only in Nigeria's democracy that people defect around the world. And yes, he said that it's not only in Nigeria's democracy that people defect from one party to the other, but there are defections in every democracy around the world. And it is the will of the people to do whatever works for them. And they should be allowed to do such. And the president should not be blamed for any failing party organization. It is not his business to organize them and manage them.
Okay. Yeah. So still talking about the drama in Delta State and the defection, there's another drama that is going to happen, which was detailed in Vanguard, about the defection and who is going to be the party leader in the state. Originally, Omo Agege was the highest ranking politician of APC within Delta State. But now that the governor has said he's moving to APC, they said that the defection is causing a battle in Delta State. Who will lead APC in Delta State? So the predecessor is still in PDP, so PDP would handle it. They said, depending on ability to control the number of states, the areas, the wards, long and short is there will be a supremacy battle after this first defection on who will control the political infrastructure of APC within Delta State. And while that is happening, I hope governance takes place in Delta State.
In a related, I wanted to do a related story. So, leading civil society activists in Nigeria yesterday expressed concerns over what they described as a calculated and systematic effort by the present administration to dismantle democratic foundations and reduce Nigeria to a one-party state. The activists who vowed to resist the move said that democracy without opposition is not democracy. They also expressed worry over the weaponization of state institutions for partisan gain, saying it undermines the integrity of democracy. The statement was titled, "Defending Democracy, a Call to Resist One-Party State in Nigeria," and it was signed by quite a number of bigwigs in the country. Richard Akinola, Abdul Mahmoud, Dr. Sam Ahmadi, Professor Adele Jinodu, we have Senator Babafemi Ojude, and quite a number of others. So, I mean, they are concerned. These defections happening here and there can actually cause weaken democracy and reduce our country to one-party state, which is not good for the democratic principles we're trying to strengthen our nation.
I have operatives of NDLEA. They have raided a hotel in Victoria Island and recovered 589 bags of illicit drugs weighing 417.3 kilograms with a street value of 1,442,500,000 naira. They said that the 3 suspects were arrested. Their names given: Eze Ayitu, Ofuoku Samuel, and Emmanuel Ame. They were arrested during the operation at a 5-story hotel. This was Friday 25th and Saturday 26th. There was also Noble Philip and his partner Kenneth, who are at large. They said the proceeds were recovered from the premises housing the Hook Hotel, also known as Caesar Hotel and Caesar Lounge. It's located at 16 Waziri Ibrahim Street off Elsie Pierce Street in Victoria Island, and so many other things were recovered from them, cars and TV. So I'm guessing, being a hotel premises, of course, those other things that are in the hotel. And they said barely a week after that, 20 parcels of cocaine concealed inside religious books bound for Saudi Arabia were also intercepted by operatives. 46 wraps of cocaine weighing 547 grams hidden in body cream also headed for the Middle East, and many others, that seizures made by NDLEA.
Okay, our final paper, Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story not taken. IMF's 37% inflation projection. LCCI expresses concerns. 50 billion earned allowance. We didn't rely on money released on paper, says ASU. And Tinubu's government making effort to dismantle democratic foundations. Odinkalu Ojudu, others warns. and Nigeria targets single-digit inflation, job creation amid global economy, says Edu. Okay, any story? Who has the 50 billion?
Okay, I have the 50 million. You know, this was me that said that we should declare party in the ASU members and, you know, non-academic staff union members' houses. And now the academic staff union has declared that they will not believe until they see the money. That the federal government announced the money through the Minister for Education and are celebrating something that they announced, and that, you know, they have not seen it. They said that this 50 billion, in fact, is just will only stand for 2 years out of the 8 years of these old allowances that we're talking about. And they said that they've also been discussing other issues with the federal government aside this 50 billion. They were the ones who offered that if they could do 2 years, they might decide to forgo the rest 6 years. But the government has not done anything in regard to that till date. So Professor Osodoke was saying the money and all the celebration is media money. It's paper money, is media money. They have not seen any money, and until they receive it, they cannot join in any celebrations.
Okay. That's all we can take on Front Page Review this morning. Let's go on a short break now and come back. We want our hot topic of today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News. My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Thanks for staying with us. So the House of Reps Committee on Basic Examination Bodies has pledged to support the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, in resolving the challenges affecting the smooth conduct of the ongoing Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination called UTME. This year's conduct has been marred by a series of complaints and unfortunate incidents. One of this, on this segment, we will review the issues and the irregularities Nigerians have been complaining about. Please, if you have experienced it, or if you have your child who tried to write the UTME, write JAMB, and they're having issues, please call the numbers in the screen. We'd like to hear, share with you the experience that your child had, so that we can obviously ensure the authorities do something about it. You can call us on 020-163-52013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to read your messages. So this last results, many people have complained, especially the students that tried to write the exams. Some have complained about missing questions. Some the diagram. Others said that there was incorrect answers. You know, there's quite a lot of issues, and I'm happy that the House of Reps is trying to look into it. But let me ask you of your own thoughts on this, and if you've experienced it before, you heard about it, and how do you think we can begin to resolve this permanently? Because students cannot keep being faced with these kinds of errors doing an examination. This is an important examination to get to the next level in their lives.
I don't think anybody can get into university in Nigeria without writing these exams.
Yeah.
And this is not a new examination process. So obviously, I was shocked and not shocked, because I felt like we should have gotten over some of these things. One major complaint people had was with the timing of the exams. The information about how early people had to show up for the exams, considering that most of those writing these exams are children. They might be adult-ish, but majority of them are like between 18, 19, 20, and they are expected to be at the examination or by 6:30 in the morning.
But JAMB has responded. Let me just say we're on the same page, because I saw a message from JAMB. In fact, I was replying the candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, saying that, Your Excellency, I must have said that our examination is scheduled to commence at 8 a.m., not 6 a.m., while verification and other clearance processes begins at 6:30. It is imperative that candidates are afforded adequate time to settle in. So
if you are starting at 6:30,
for accreditation. Yeah.
So one, the timing is challenging for many people. Two is the fact that I am surprised. The one that surprised me was that people were complaining of missing information within the question examination of the question examination itself. I remember when I did JAMB, we had that same issue. There were questions that the leader found out that the answer wasn't even in the options or things like that. Like, I'm talking over 20 years ago, and we're having issues. No. I like the idea that the House of Assembly is saying representatives saying we're going to support them. We don't want support. Let there be penalties. Let there be consequences for the failings that happened currently. And then we can then discuss how do we adequately improve this, because you cannot be an examination body that is evaluating people before going to university and you are unable to conduct it efficiently. It doesn't speak of excellence. It doesn't show like you have the capacity to certify me to go into university. So I think that there should be consequences for those who dropped the ball on this exam. It has nothing to do with the accidents. My heart goes out to all of those that, the children that lost their lives in the accidents, those that were involved in the accidents. I was traveling to Abeokuta very early on Saturday morning, and the road, like, there were just so many children on the road. And one man was having to coordinate the traffic process by himself. And I felt, shouldn't there have been a process to ensure that there are traffic people? I'm saying police officers, local law enforcement agents at every point where we are going to be having this thing take place. Or the schools would have security operatives, because the people I saw at the 2 points within Abeokuta that were coordinating the road were individuals that were trying to ensure that no accident took place, because it was an express road. So there are many things that did not go right. That looks like there wasn't proper project management of this scale. At this point in time, we should not be having this teething problem. Okay. So consequences should be meted out to those that dropped the ball on this.
Nima?
I wanted to start from the accident, and the reason why is that there were just too many children traveling across states, across long distances to write JAMB exams, and I think that is not right. I think I think that is
outdated.
It's so outdated. I mean, we have complained about adults, you know, who are working and they have to go and write exams in different promotion exams in different states. That situation alone is bothersome. Then you now talk of children, and then you expect them that they should be there, you know, really early. It makes no sense in this world of that is so digitalized with all the resources that we have. Why can't we just step into the times and use them, especially to benefit our children and protect them? It's so unfair, you know, that children, the lives that were lost just because they had to go and write, you know, exams. It was unnecessary. That was an unnecessary. Those were unnecessary deaths that happened. There was a story of a young girl too who had set out, and her family were looking for her. They couldn't find her. It seemed like eventually they found her. I think a day or so after. It looked like either she had been kidnapped or she lost her way. You know, there's some things that just don't make sense. Most of these students are in school. They can write them in their schools. They have just make sure that there are more exam centers. You have AI technology that is able to track, you know, all these things. You don't need human presence in a lot of these places. Use this technology, please, to protect the lives of our students. Everybody talks about, so that's on the one side. The second one is, you know, what Tokwe has highlighted, exam questions, diagrams not showing. I remember during our time, there were occasions where there will be mistakes, because at that time even the technology wasn't, a lot of things was handwritten, you know, people had to sit down and come up. So you would make room for human error. But it's been so long, there's been so much time, so much technological advancement, it makes no sense. It just means to me that there are a group of people who are meant to be in charge of making sure that this is done right, who haven't done their job. Because it just takes somebody or a group of people to sit down to see what is about to be sent out and realize that some things are not correct. Yeah. Some people are just collecting salary, being employed, doing nothing, and collecting salary at the end of the month. I believe that those people have to be made to, you know, pay for this in some way.
Right.
You have Nigerian students who are constantly, you know, trying hard. Parents especially, you know, the children are working hard, wanting to make sure that they, you know, get their proper, they get their right scores. They are studying hard. The parents are putting money together. We always hear of parents when they are complaining of trying to raise money for their children to write these exams, and yet we fail them at this point. We can do better. The government can do better. And please, let's not let this continue to happen.
Okay. Under Professor Loye, the JAMB has greatly improved. We wrote our JAMB physically using pencil and shading papers, and then they improved to prevent malpractices by doing the type 1, type ABCD, where they swap all the types and questions rearrangement under the year. That was, I think, the last JAMB I wrote was the one where the types were being shifted. So
to prevent cheating.
To prevent cheating.
Yeah.
So you're sitting next to me. We all have the same question papers, but we actually don't have the same. So my number 9 is your number 100, and you would never be able to find out because the time for the exam runs fast. And so a lot of improvements has happened under the current administration of JAMB, where we saw the CBT being introduced. And of course, because it's a new innovation, adjusting to it was tough. Nigerians tried to bypass it, issues will come up here and there. Centers had to be built, which is what led to people traveling distances for JAMB. So CBT centers, that's the computer-based test centers, are not many. There are even many now. When they started initially, people used to still opt for the other physical papers as opposed to the computer-based test. Eventually, they moved into full CBT exams for every JAMB. And yet they still do not have enough centers. My cousin called me, said she was lost in Festac trying to find her center, and I even misled her. I led her all the way by using Google Map to Mushi for the same name before we found. She insisted that they had written, JAMB had said her center was in Festac, and we found out later it was in Festac. She went a day before to confirm her center because she knows how the exam will go. When Zainab wrote her exams, when my daughter was a baby, at JAMB center was in Ijebu Ode. So we had gone a day before to Ijebu to find out where the CB center was.
Now.
No, it has stopped. I'm saying then, we find it 12. When she was a baby, the girl that was helping me with her had to travel to Jebu. So we went a day before. We had sent a family member to go with her, an adult to go with her to find the center a day before. And we did not leave her in Jebu. In fact, the night before, they traveled for the exam. And they stayed somewhere in Ijebu there for the exams to be done. So yes, because we are moving into a new phase, there are going to be, things, will be a cost to this improvement we are trying to do. To achieve it will not just be because it involves money. Initially, there were voluntary CBT centers. Now they found out that some CBT centers, I think the interview from the JAMB head recently came out exposing universities, exposing some centers as to, compromising, defrauding students and all of that. So it's an ongoing process. I'm just talking about this travel.
They just seem to
the only thing I can see in and everything I see is Nigeria. The Nigerian people, what we're doing, because how do we fix this problem?
Let me explain something. When I wrote GC in 1998, when you buy your form, anywhere you buy your form, that's how the posting was done. So my dad worked on Victoria Island and he went to buy our forms in Victoria Island. Proxy to Victoria Island is Lagos Island. Now where they post us for GCB that. We were living in Iba. We had to come every day for our 9 papers on the island.
Okay, why?
So that was how it was done. I'm just talking about improvement. So you were supposed to buy your form in your locality.
But now you do online now. You put your address. They should give you.
Topper, we have improved.
Okay, too.
We are saying that with improvement comes costs. Parents must also make provision. If my child has been posted to a center, I will find out that center before exams. I will make provisions for my child to write the exam beforehand. I will not go and write the exam the next morning and fall into any situation. I'm not saying that excusing JAMB's inadequacies. I'm saying, what about the role of us as citizens? What are we going to do? Because we just want to excuse.
I'm going to short. When we come back, we continue. Let's stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. I choose to close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, #1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for #1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym, though. You're getting fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer,
you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
This is. That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You scissors. What is his name?
That woman.
Damn!
Today we'll go here.
Hey!
Let's catch up.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay tuned. TVC Entertainment for pure entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it, you'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue with JAMB, and all I could think in my head is the I don't want to say Nigerian factors. I'm really struggling not to say the Nigerian factor because the truth is that all this goes back to we the people. And I remember during the time where in the banking sector, there was a time that we used to line up in the banks for hours. You keep going back and forth. But now there are ATM machines, there's auto teller machines such that you don't need to go to the bank unless you really have to. Private sector came in with solutions. It wasn't government that brought in these machines. Private sector came in and said, how do I support this? And now they're making money out of it. Other sectors, we've seen telecoms, we've seen other sectors. In the educational sector, you see, as you said, the leadership have tried to decentralize it such that we have CBTs across. But we need more people. We need more credible Nigerians to be able to, you know what, I am giving you 10 CBTs instead of building all these houses that we're doing, all these parties that we're always constantly doing. We need Nigerians to really come out and say, these are the problems we have. Because the truth is that we need credible Nigerians say, you know what can we do to support? Education is such an important part of our development. So we've seen other sectors grow, but how can we support JAMB? That's what that's how I think.
I was trying to make the point that, you know, we see the effort of JAMB to develop over time. But the role of parents, because I hear a lot of things happen this time. I heard of the young girl who went missing somewhere from a center, and I was wondering, why was she allowed to travel alone? Yes, that's the fact. If she's not going to school, even if your child is going to school for the first time, somebody ought to have gone with her, especially when they are 16, in their 16s, under 18, and they've never traveled before. We've seen a lot of, in the past, one girl was murdered somewhere in Ogun State by an Okada rider who decided to rape her on her center. So we've had enough stories to make parents worry enough. If your child center is not immediately in front of your house, you ought to she ought to have a guardian or a family member travel with her. That's the way it is, because we will never send our children to some places on their own, even though it is within our state. But centers, we're not expecting JAMB not only to provide exam writing materials, organize an exam, also to organize security from places of rest to the centers. You know, somebody was giving. Sorry, you want to take a call?
Yes, Lily has been holding from Bagada. Good morning, Lily. You're live. Oh, I'm sorry, lost that call.
So when you buy early your JAMB form, you get the benefit of a free center. When centers are full, they start to look for centers outside. That's the experience of most of the JAMB candidates who enlisted. That they start to look for those who bought late, who are registering late, towards the end and the extensions. They had to now post them to other places. So these provisions are done. Parents also must make provisions. Guardians must also be guardians. Most of them are under 18 children writing these exams. We have just advocated that they should be allowed for those even under 16 to write the exam. So do you send such a child alone to an exam center? I don't understand.
Okay, so
the excuse we're doing.
So why we're talking about this for me this year is because it was widespread issues. There seemed to be a particular problem this 2025. All the issues with the examinations, the number of children that were on the road trying to get to, it just seemed quite huge. And I'm looking at it and I hear that actually this particular year we had 2 million candidates compared to last year, which was about 1.9. So even JAMB recognized that this was a huge number. But you recognize this huge number from registration when it happens. So for me, it's about planning again. So we have.
Can I pause you for a second? Lily's back, and because it might be a student. Good morning, Lily. Are you there?
Good morning.
Morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I want to contribute to this talk about JAMB.
Yes.
Mario, it's so unfortunate. It's quite, annoying because I went with my daughter to the center and it was terrible. Why would JAMB be, saying that they have to do accreditation, biometric by 6:30 a.m. and we got there. The students did not go for the exam until 4 p.m. 4 p.m. So it was really bad. Okay, why would JAMB
did not start the exam until 4 p.m.
From 6:30?
Yes. From Lagos, you have to send some people to have their center at Kaduna. Kaduna. Yes.
Kaduna. From Lagos.
From Lagos. Some of the parents said they could not allow their children to go. It was really bad. So if Alaja Mima is saying that there's an improvement, I disagree. I'm sorry. I disagree. There's no improvement. Well, they have their details when these children were buying their forms. They fill forms, they fill details of these children. Why are they still asking them to come and do biometric? Why didn't they keep them some days behind before the examination day?
Yeah.
That's my contribution. It's really bad.
Thank you, Lily. You're talking about planning.
Yes, so I feel that, this is in line with what I was saying. There was a huge surge in the numbers this particular year, and I feel that just from the registration, you understand that you have maybe beyond capacity the number of children, and the planning should have started from then. Maybe you'd have done it in batches, and then avoided a lot of the issues. Now, I know that Nima, trying to show how the JAMB has improved. I agree that they have declared profits. So there's one thing to declare profits. That means you have made monetary gain. And there's another thing to declare improvement structurally and in the system. So it's not enough that you have more children just paying for these JAMB forms and you're able to now raise money. Yes, there was a time that JAMB was in deficit. Government was constantly supporting it, but now it's able to support itself as well as make profit. But it does not make sense if that profit cannot be put into the system in such a way that it's improved for the children. I mean, that's the whole aim of JAMB, really. It's not for making profit for profit's sake. If you make the profit, that's just additional, but not at the cost of the students having to go to JAMB centers. And if you say, oh, you should follow your children to JAMB centers, I agree. If you can, it makes sense. But what would you tell the people that put their children in a car and they passed on? Oh, you should have gotten a special driver for them. There'll always be issues. What would be better is their names, where they live, their area. To make it safe for them, put them in areas closer to their home so that children are not, especially as you want them to be there at 6:30 a.m. And look at this exam started at 4 p.m. What time did it end? So if they had finished, they were now supposed to find their way back home along the distances. I just feel it was really poor planning and it could have been avoided.
Okay, let me take Richard. Good morning, Richard. Thanks for calling.
Okay, can I try to reply?
Yes, please.
So, I completely understand the issue you've mentioned, but I already explained that. Early registration, there were preferences. You also raised the issue of about 2 million subscribers for this year's JAMB. Of course, that's a huge number and a huge planning will be involved. When priority has been given to the early registrants, they will move on and settle other people. And one thing, if a person were to buy a JAMB form and they were told all centers were full, We will ask JAMB why did he make special arrangements. When special arrangement now means that the child is taken out of state or out of area, it now falls on the parents to see if they insist that year's exam must be written, to see what provisions they can also make to ensure the child writes the exam and writes the exam safely. That's on one side. We also talked about 4 p.m. I still find it hard to believe the JAMB exams started at 4 p.m. If it did start at 4 p.m., it would be because of any other error that could have happened. We're talking CBT exams. One of the candidates I wrote, Ali, was registered Ali back then for JAMB, and he went for his registration. And anytime he's taking his biodata, they won't find a fingerprint. So they struggle to register him. Then on the exam day, they struggle to recognize him into center. We wrote to JAMB. He on his own, he just forfeited the whole exam because of the stress of going to Abuja and all of that. But I wanted to see him have a university education, so we kept putting our head inside. He was tired of, he said, until the next day, even for bank, that always get problem with fingerprint. I don't tire. We wanted him to go to school. So we know some of these things happen in exam centers where the system fails for a particular candidate, and you're still calling on the organizers or the supervisors to ensure that your system is set up. But I don't think JAMB will deliberately delay students without any issue and start an exam at 4 p.m.
Okay, Paul from Egbeda, thanks for calling. No one was having the phone lines. See, the problem I have is what Tokwe said earlier. That how can we having this kind of problem, which is the same thing you had 20-some years ago? Like, who is solving the problem for JAMB? As you said, yes, we've seen some improvement, no doubt, but the problem has not been solved. There are still issues of even the incorrectness in the JAMB papers. There's a lot of issues that are saying that blank papers, no diagrams, no incorrect answers. They're still having that issue today. So aside from the logistics problem, aside from the planning problem, there's the issue of the fundamental exam question itself.
Like,
those issues were not there then.
It's like saying, no, some of them were there then. I experienced them then. It's like saying that you are a dentist and you are struggling with doing scaling and polishing. Like, that's like the basic, that's what you're expected. Every dentist is expected to be able to do scaling and polishing. So if you are an examination board, you must be able to put out the questions. There shouldn't be any issue with the question. There might be issue with how people get to the venue. There might be issues with every other thing, but questions, you are an examination body. Question is your thing. So, one, we shouldn't have issues with questions, whatever the issue is. And I feel like because we don't have consequences, there are no penalties, strong enough penalties. Like, when we have issues like this, people should voluntarily, too much on video, not on video, too much on Igbo film. Somebody should just come out and say, I'm resigning. Like, I would not on my watch, as someone who is credible and conducting exams for many years, have this kind of thing happen while I am there. I feel I dropped ball, I disappointed myself. I would resign, let investigations take place.
Do you know why that won't happen?
I would love that to happen.
Okay.
But you will tell me why it doesn't happen.
I'll tell you, just my own thinking. I don't think that would happen because it will mean that a lot of people would have to face the consequences. So if, let's say, JAMB says, see, we have a huge number of candidates this year, and this is what we need from government, and government does not play their part. So who are we going to punish? It's likely that you punish a whole lot of people, even outside of JAMB. I feel this our the lack of planning and our poor system of just doing anything. It's not just a JAMB issue. It's just a Nigerian issue. I know you did not want to use the word, be the Nigerian thing, but we do have that issue where we don't plan. We just hope, okay, there are more people. I was telling you earlier during banter that, someone, because of someone's mistake, it cost me something. We don't think that far ahead in Nigeria. We just, we had a little over 1.9 million in 2024, and we have over 2 million in 2025. People are not going to, don't worry, we'll sort it out, But it should mean, if we do have this number, that means we need centers. We need to make sure we need more staff. We need to make sure that people who are going through this, we have more people that can go through it. If you had 10 people before, if you had 20 people, or if you have 100 staff that were able to go through the papers, to vet it, to make sure everything is right, and then you have a huge increase in your number, your 10 staff will not work, your 20 will not work. So you have to think about increasing those numbers. And then if you go to government, if you're a parastatal that depends on government and ask them for funding, and the government says, well, there's nothing we can do, go and sort yourself out, then Where's the problem? Then also, if you now say that you're a profit-making agency, how did you use your profit now to just make the system better and make it easier for students?
Let me take Alfonso. We're holding for a minute. Good morning, Alfonso. I'm sorry, I think I've let me let you jump in.
May I recognize that JAMB has other remedial processes. My cousin in Abuja was made to rewrite her exam for extremely high results, and they created a proper exam center for her in Abuja at the JAMB headquarters. Come and rewrite the exam the way you know, and they gave her new questions. So they have remedial processes. Also, for people like the Ali I mentioned, they did a remedial process. He refused to go to Abuja to write the exam. So they have several remedial processes. All this feedback, all these inadequacies, JAMB usually would first of all investigate them for the authentic stories, those whose centers and issues and glitches happened truly at their centers. When all of those are dealt with, they usually will have remedial exams for them, and I hope that that is done in the course of days to come. And I want to suggest to JAMB, if for whatever reason you are oversubscribed in your exams and you do not have the machinery per time, you can either do them in batches, because I think they've done that before, where they do in a week, they'll be doing some set of numbers for the Monday, the Tuesday, unlike the way we used to all crowd major exams for Saturdays and Sundays during WAEC. They used to do them in days, in batches, unlike the way JAMB was done for us. So a JAMB exam, they usually declare a week for it. So some people write on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Some people write Monday morning, Monday evening, and they can do that. Yeah. They can also, in worst case scenario, return subscriptions to some candidates. We're over full. Early people have taken over the slots. We're thinking of safety. Come out with a good PR and explain to people why you cannot post somebody from Lagos to Kaduna to write an exam like the caller that called said. We cannot. Yeah. We do not want to be responsible for that candidate. Let Nigerians come and say, no, we will take our children to Kaduna to write the exam because we don't want to miss this year's admission. Let it be a full conversation.
I would like that. JAMB is online. I saw some of their messages. So I know they're responding to people online, but it would be great for us to have somebody from JAMB hopefully get some clarity, because it's quite painful that some children had to die as a result of these logistics. No, it's not, Morayo, every time. When children are going for exams, this happens. When children are going to admission, we should learn from it, Nima. That's my point. We should learn from these things. It shouldn't be happening. The reason why there's progress in life is because we take lessons from the past. So we can't keep having that conversation in 2025. That's my worry. Who is fixing that problem?
I just want to say that I know that we discuss things like this. We discuss it almost every year when this thing happens. But there are several complaints on social media. Yeah. Social media, Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook, is not a platform to officially tender your complaints about JAMB. Unless you make it formal, it can't be addressed by the body. We can discuss it like this, but if you are a parent, if you are a student, you wrote the exams, there were issues with your examination, or you had challenges writing, things were missing, document what went wrong and submit a proper claim to JAMB, because that is what will help JAMB to understand what the problem is and not say they're just chasing clout on Instagram. It is influencers that are carrying the story up. Let those involved personally, please let JAMB know officially what went wrong, so that JAMB can understand in clear terms and then know how to chart the course towards improvement. And then
this was very so widespread, I'm sure. I'm hoping that more Nigerians can call him, because the phone lines obviously having issues, but we can send us messages on Twitter and on X. On X and on YouTube. We'd like to hear your thoughts so that we can get the Nigerian, the JAMB office to actually get the feedback from Nigerians. So please, we're going to go on a short break. When we come back, we'll try to take as many messages as possible so that we can have the feedback of real stories, real experiences, so that people can tell us what happened, and then we can take it from there. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
So, there is a small problem.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's light camera fashion, where we strut, slay, and sashay, and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire.
My name na Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen. And this na Abigail. And I dare on top your view pigeon. I'm going to bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this.
Now what you want?
After that day, the man
you not go see him again. If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody. When you dey friend the husband, you not see sign say the guys nothing, you don't vex, don't give signs.
If they look for person we go give them to you, fact as he be. Men no they ever get fault. If baby not there for her, na the woman.
Talk no dey be person no make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we not say if we open curtain in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
Look, we not even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man, and that's some warrior.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant. Thanks for staying with us. As we wrap up on this, we'd really like to hear from Nigerians to share their own individual experiences concerning the just concluded UTME examinations. Let's see a few more comments on social media.
Take one. Ade Baptist says, JAMB has really improved, and but the truth is that there will be over and under capacity in some states than others. It's obviously not feasible for JAMB. On YouTube, we have a lot of people talking. Oladidi says, all this boils down to mass management. We lack knowledge of handling events when large volume of people are involved. We used to see this in public events, as now we're seeing it in our public exams.
1 second, I have a call. Latifa from Edo State. Good morning, Latifa. Thanks for calling.
Morning.
How are you doing, Latifa?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy morning to you all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what I want to add to this problem is that you see this whole thing goes to the leaders. It boils down to the leaders. What I'm saying to most of the leaders, they don't have children in school, and even if they have, most of them are in abroad. And secondly, if we want to solve it, we just need a good and a young mind that will really take care of this education sector. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, any other comments?
Okay, Lala 12 says, well, I understand, Nima. Would you blame a university school if students passed on their way to school? Adebusola says, based on the issues this year, JAMB must work on improving their systems against next exams. Grandma Ford says, my son's JAMB exam scheduled for 12 p.m. started at 1 p.m. He received only 165 questions and was told to continue despite complaints. What do you think will happen to his scores? I think people should understand. Says, Madam Nima, it seems like you're holding brief for JAMB without listening to all the feedback. Yes, there has been improvement over the years, but there has to be a lot of improvement for the next exam.
I think she said that several times. So whenever, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think also people should understand.
Ubani, Fortune. Nima, why are you not concerned about students that died? Why? Did I at any point?
No.
You know, I'm not on that. Don't even bring that. I'm very concerned about the death of students, and I'm saying it is a collective that can work on that. As much as JAMB owes us to organize exams, we also owe our children to ensure their safety to exam centers and back. I'm not unconcerned about any. I'm only advising.
Yes, and I was going to say that this particular year, you know, it was just like all that could go wrong went wrong, and it shows. Usually, when that happens, it just shows that it's planning. You know, on a large scale, a lot of things went wrong. And that's why I think people are talking about this year. So we've seen the improvements over the years, but this is such a large-scale disaster, honestly.
So Andrew StarTimes said, in fact, if the software was written properly, there's no why you can't sit the exam even in the comfort of your home. And that is why the last scholar saying young people being in position of power would make make different decisions, because the way they see the world is different from how we see the world. They see a lot more possibilities because, well, this is what they know. We can verify, our cameras can verify identity facially, facial recognition, the facial recognition can work. So you can ensure that exams are only written by people who registered for those exams. Technology is already here. Banks are using it. If it's going to cost a lot of money, like Mariam highlighted earlier, they are already profitable. So how can we integrate that? There was also the question of somebody was saying, why must the exam be written? Bolanle Soremi said, must the exam be written on Saturdays? Why can't they spread over the days, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday? That's because the feedback we got from the youngest person within the studio was that the reason people get posted to outside their states or farther locations is because they registered late. And if the center closest to them is full, they will be pushed somewhere else. Well, that can be avoided by simply giving options of more days for them to pick to write the exam closer to them.
Some of the halls were too compact. Yes, the candidates were seen finding themselves because of poor ventilation. We frowned at the absence of nurses and inadequacies, first aid facilities in some sense. So
that was changed this year. Why did they write it? Because last JAMB, I'm aware that they did it in a week.
So why did they have to do that?
Different days. Some people wrote at the end of the day. Some people, they had a mock exam. They had, you know. So what changed this year apart from that?
So we have quite a lot of questions for
the improvement.
The next step, really nice to ask JAMB directly what happened. So hopefully we can bring them on. But this was just this particular show was just to highlight the issues Nigerians face and see if we can provide some of the solutions to make it better. But we're going to go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll bring in our guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyingo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call permanent solutions.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crumbs of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe it's achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made,
and possibilities are endless. Amadedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And hey, you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Thanks for staying with us. So in exactly 1 month from today, President Bola Tinubu's administration will clock 2 years. And to critically dissect the journey so far, we have a veteran journalist in the studio. He is the chairman of the editorial board, The Nation newspaper. But that's not why we're here. We're here for a different reason. But you can call us on the numbers on the screen. We have with us Mr. Sam Omasheye, who is going to be our guest today. Please welcome to the show.
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Sam, good to have you. You can call us on 020-1635-2013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We're happy to read your messages. The reason why I said that's why you're here, we're here because of your book, because you just launched this fantastic book, and that's why we invited you. But later on, we'll discuss about the administration's 2 year and your thoughts on it. But let's talk about how. But first of all, how are you doing? It's been a while we've been on this show.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I've been on the show in other ways, as you know. By sending messages.
Oh yes, I read your contributions when I get them. Good to have you on the show, Sam.
Same here.
So tell us about this new fiction. I was so drawn into it. You know, I mean, I'm on chapter 4. I think it's Mami's chapter, but we're still. Tell us about this book, this Juju Eyes. Let's start with the name. Where did that come from?
Well, in fact, somebody asked me about a week ago. I had to go into the book again to find out how I got that, you know, because there was a scene in which there was this white man who is now in love with the main character called Shay. And he is visiting Port Harcourt and is one of his friends, and he sees that the chef of his friend is calling his girlfriend Juju Eyes. So he was wondering, why do you want to, you know, demean the woman by calling her Juju Eyes? I said, no, okay, I'm not demean her. I call her Juju Eyes because I dey worship her. So this white man who is befriending Shay now calls Shay Juju Eyes because he feels that she's benumbing, she has quote-unquote witchcraft beauty.
Yes. That's so cool. You know, when you were explaining, the way you are narrating it, it feels, I'm picturing it like, it feels like a movie to me. Like, and one of the things that I find interesting about stories written by Nigerians is that it reflects us. in a way that the other fictional stories written in the Western world does not reflect us. It does. We don't see ourselves in the story. So well done for this. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But I wanted to ask that, are we going to be, like, this story should get a movie out of it? You know, are you working out on something like a movie from any of the books you've written?
Well, no, not yet. I'm so busy writing, I'm not thinking about it.
So,
Yeah.
I read the author's note,
Yeah.
and you talked about a particular story I'd heard during the COVID.
Yeah.
About that period, how it unraveled a lot of relationships. And in this particular one, you know, it seemed that a couple had met their Waterloo, so to speak, because they've realized you are not who you say that you are. And for me, I would like you to give us a little bit of context on it, how this affected this particular story that you've written, and what is the message you're trying to pass across for people.
Yes, you see, the story itself began one morning when I was just surfing the news on social media, and then I came upon this story about this very attractive young lady who is married to a white guy in the UK. I think something, maybe in Dublin, somewhere around there. And the man is actually shocked by what he discovered. She denied who she was, her background, her educational background, her mother. And she could have accepted all she was, and the man could still have loved her for who she was, but she didn't. So that was sets my mind going, that this is not just about her. It's a kind of the society we live in, which we are not, things are not what they seem, you know. And, you know, I thought I would write this story about a man, this kind of story about a man, you know, somebody who is out there, who is successful, who is charming, intelligent, but has to succeed through disguises, through all kinds of phony exteriorities, you know, things like that. Packaging, that's what's called packaging. And I'm also concerned that there's a lot of innocence. Even inside of all of this, there's an innocence. And it's that innocence that actually gets me in this story. That in spite of the fact that she is this girl that everybody loves and tries to emulate or tries to envy, the rich men want her, the poor people fantasize about her, but she's there, she's innocent, but she has to somehow succeed. So that is the pressure on this lady.
I love the book. This is a fresh reading from your other books I've read.
Yes.
Yes, this is much.
The English is simpler.
You
stepped it down a bit.
Because I read Okoro. I couldn't understand it till I got to chapter 6. I read it again and again. It was around the Civil War. Just couldn't.
This one draws you in.
But this one is so engaging. I couldn't drop the book, and I've not even gone far. I liked the way you put the sexual violence that happened in the book.
Yes.
Almost as if a young girl could not tell the difference. She couldn't tell the danger. I've not read to the justice, so because, you know, we always look for justice.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've not gone far with it. But I like the way you put it. Almost as if, you know, if a girl were to read this book now, you would know where to draw the line. The line became blurred in the details, and I was wondering what was on your mind when. Because I know this is a fiction.
You see, I've this thing, that story about the girl and her uncle, is more common than we think in this society. It's more common. If you read the stories, especially the crime stories in the newspapers, you see a lot of it. I read one last week about a father and an uncle who defiled a 10-year-old. Yes, that happened just last week. So we find a lot of that, and even the mother of the girl, and this is very interesting. The mother of the girl is not too sure that her daughter didn't draw the money. So there's still this ambiguity about it. It's like is she even aware that she's also coquettish? Does she know how to draw the line when she is in this?
Yeah. It was almost like she was. Yeah. I almost sensed that she knew, she saw it coming, thought about it when it might happen, and then it happened, and she felt that okay, maybe I should have actually not allowed it to happen. But the suggestions
almost
were there.
as if she was consenting somewhere.
Somewhat, because I mean, she already said the suggestion. I mean, I was quite interested, but let me go on a very short break. When we come back, because we don't do book reviews on this show, but because it's you, we're just trying to do something a bit more in depth. But we'll go into Nigeria and political, what's happening in the political sector. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, you for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
Yeah, pole dancer
pole
does
dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have Sam Omasheye with us, and I think I'd like to wrap up on this book conversation with the blurb at the back. And let me read from Professor Kumbi Olashope, University of Ibadan. It says, an interesting narrative, brilliantly woven. The author has captured the whole essence of human strength and frailty, actually. Intrigues, love, marriage, trust, hypocrisy, deceit, and lies. Indeed, you cannot pay anyone to be holy. You can only pay them to pretend. Now, for me, that captures really the essence of this book. So, in a nutshell, could you tell us what you expect Nigerians to get out of the book once they read it?
Well, there are so many things you can get out of it. The book is it's about a fallen woman, but it's also emblematic of the Nigerian society. Because it's also deeply political. If you go into the novel, it's also interracial and so on. So it's about how Nigerians try to project a certain image other than who they are, and the challenges of trying to live that life.
So now let's now move now into the Nigerian situation where we are, because as a nation, I know there's a lot of projection out there. We're projecting who we're not, because we are living in Nigeria is poor in a lot of people's senses, but we project something totally different from what we really are experiencing internally.
Exactly.
Because we've almost seen it as a norm in Nigeria, where you have to package it or you have to make it look glossy and glamorous.
Fake it to make it.
So, but in the real sense of it, as a nation, the Nigerians are grappling with all the policies the current administration has put out there, and they're asking that question: that when are we going to see a better Nigeria? Because for many who are progressives, they had a deep sense of belief in this president and in the administration. And in 2 years, they're thinking to themselves, okay, are we still on the right track? Or have things derailed?
Well, I think we are on the right track. And this question you just asked, we should have asked that probably 20 years ago. And we didn't. And we were living a lie. We were accumulating debts. We were living in a style in which we thought we were a rich country, whereas we were poor. And when the poverty came to catch up with us, we have to live the life that we should have lived before in order to become the country that we're supposed to be. But when the government came in, I remember meeting the president after he won. And I said that I didn't envy him. We didn't know how bad the situation was, at that time. I said I didn't envy him. I used the Yoruba expression, yeah, you're the one that took this to school. I said, yes. He said, well, that he was quiet for a while. Then he said, well, he has taken the task, and it's all about thinking and getting things done. That was it. But when you get to the table and you see the figures before you, and you have to deal with it, then you have to deal with it. Well, some things were very clear going in, and it was clear to everybody that one, we couldn't continue with the exchange regime that we had. We couldn't continue with the subsidies that we had. And everybody agreed, everybody agreed that that was going to be the situation. The point is that after agreeing, when hardship is coming, you do not know how it will look like until you get into it. And that is where we are right now. And we had to do it. He had to remove the subsidy. He had to redress the issue of the exchange rate. And it had to come with this birth pangs. And that's what we are going through.
Okay, so
and he had the courage to do it. If he did not do it the time he did it, maybe Nigeria will be looking at Venezuela by now.
Okay, so you see what you said. A lot of social commentators on TV have even international media have always been applauding the move, but locally the birth pang is painful. It is extremely. It feels like people are being choked. Yes. It feels like the government policy is choking Nigerians out of breath, and we have to acknowledge that that is happening. And I would like to hear your thoughts on if you feel the government is adequately addressing the short-term, reprieve, even as we are going to achieve long-term benefits. Do you think the administration is adequately addressing it, and how do you think they can address it to get to the people? Because right now, the people don't want to hear the English of it is long-term benefits, go through short-term pain. They want to live. They feel like this is choking them out of life.
Yeah, human beings, we are not made to suffer. Yeah? We are not made to suffer. We are meant to survive. And in surviving, we want it to be easy. And it is not always easy, especially when when we dig ourselves a big hole where we were. And remember, the president has said it a number of times. The trillions of debts that the country had, and the fact that it has reduced it considerably. But when you are trying to solve a situation like this, you have to keep the structure first before the thing will get down to the people. Remember, I use the expression, when you are on the plane, they tell you when there is a loss of oxygen, said the mother should first of all wear your own mask before that of your child. Because in trying to wear that of the child, both of you might suffocate. So there is the problem with the short-term thing was the issue of palliatives. And the problem is both government and also the people, you know. How do you get palliatives to the people without it being corrupted, without being sabotaged and bastardized? I remember they were distributing rice, was it customs or so, distributing rice, and I discovered that some families, it was 1 bag per family or something like that. And you discovered that you had like 4 people from one family trying to get it, and then some people choked, and then they stopped it. Yeah. There was a problem with that. There was a problem with data. How do we get it to the right people? And then there was a problem with the political class. I think that was a teething problem that I really was concerned about. The percent of that, and then cash transfers. Who do you give it to? And who will not get it? And if you get it, will you confess that you get it? I mean, I understand there was somebody who got it and didn't tell the people around them that I don't get to, you know. So there's also no problem. There's a sociological aspect of it. But essentially, the thing is to make sure that the structure is right. Because it is a long-term thing. It's just like I always refer to the story in the Bible when the children of Israel, that's in Exodus, when they were being whipped by Pharaoh, and all of them were happy. Oh, we are going to cross the river and so on. And then they got there, and they were saying, "Where have you brought us? Why did you bring us here?" At least when we were there, we were eating all kinds of things. Even though they were whipping us, we were still eating, and so on. So it's not easy to suffer.
Let me go on a very short break. Yes. When I come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it, you'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's light, camera, fashion, where we strut, slay, and sashay, and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing.
Yes,
ma'am.
You know, sir, you said something about if the steps that the president has taken now, if he didn't, we may be looking at Venezuela. We may have been looking at Venezuela because we had dug ourselves into a hole. But many Nigerians will say, did Nigerians themselves, did an average Nigerian on the streets participate in this digging of this hole? You know, that the people who dug this hole are the political class, you know, and somehow they are getting like a bailout while the average Nigerian has to pay for this hole that had been dug without their participation, without any benefit to them. Why is it that, you know, in trying to move forward, what many Nigerians are asking is, why don't you take more from that political class? Give to those, you know, those at the grassroots, the regular Nigeria. Let those at the political class feel the pinch of the hole that they have dug over the years, and, you know, with less impact on the average Nigerian.
Well, it is the nature of human society that the leadership destroys, the leadership builds. The people cannot all come to government. That's the tragedy of the whole thing. How do they take from the people in the political class? Well, that's an interesting question. But the point though is that this government has not shown that it is pampering the political class as such. Although we've found out what happened in the Senate, the cars, and that thing came and well, some people have said that even if you have taken anybody to become a senator, would you want to move around without a secure vehicle and so on in this kind of society? It is an issue that has been going on. But it's also sometimes unfair to think that everybody in the political class is just chopping, as they say, or they are eating, as they say. Well, people tend to presume that. But the real situation has become what it is because of the nature of suffering in the land. And when the digging was going on, people were talking about the indulgence of the political class, the magnificence of corruption in the political class. But nothing was done about it. But even this government has done, they've cut a lot of things in government. They've done a lot of cost cutting. They've done that in the allowances of those in office and so on. But those things don't seem to come down. There's always speculation about peculation. So we always see that. But it is what it is. When they were digging it, they're digging the hole and taking it away. The society was there looking. And we have to bear the consequence. It is the way society is. There has to be a leader and there have to be leaders, unless we want a communist nirvana, which can never happen, where everybody is a government.
You see, some of these things are not unfounded because, in fact, for your people now, a tornado have swept through the states and swept all the umbrellas away and given them brooms recently.
In your states?
In my state?
Yeah, your people.
They're about to receive them now. We're going to be linking up to the news very soon.
The tornado don't sweep them, and it's also because, you know, this class that we're talking about are in one place as against the people, the way we look at it. They take care of themselves. That circle takes care of itself. They decide the corruption fight against Emefiele is not moving anywhere. When it started, we were all optimistic that, you know, he will pay for them, but it's looking like it won't happen. You know, eventually such a person will bring an action against the government for human rights abuses and it might win. So what exactly, how would you put the fights, how would you say people should, perceive this laudable policies of the government, of this administration to change things? How exactly would you say they should do it that it will be transparently seen, justice will be done and will be seen to be done?
Okay. Well, justice is something that grinds slowly, as I say. Justice does not come overnight. You know that justice does not come overnight. That is the way it is. Well, you can say that the political class always talks to each other, and they have always been talking to each other. There's no way there's nothing we can do about that. But the point is for the class to be sensitive to the people. What happened in Delta was politics, was organizing. There's nothing there was nothing wrong with that. You can say that one political party is in trouble.
When you say there's nothing wrong with that, I'm concerned because usually politics is supposed to be ideological, such that we are rooted in something. Yes. And if you are rooted in nothing, when you say there's nothing wrong with you hobnobbing, and then there's a problem. Then look at how's going to happen about democracy.
When I was in Ife, when we were studying ideology, I've forgotten the right. I said the occlusion of all ideologies is in itself ideology. It's an ideology. It's ideological. So what is the ideology? Ideology is interest. Some people will say, what I'm interested in it's not the strictness of ideology, is that I want to make sure I provide food for the people. I give them, there's no ideology in your house you live in. There's no ideology whether if you are a PDP man, if you are a socialist and I'm a capitalist, if you put Amala there and bring Amala here, it's going to taste the same thing.
Okay. I have to let you go because of time. There's a question that's been on my head for some time, and I like to ask it.
Yes.
And I always talk about posture. Government posture for me is very crucial.
Yes.
So a man can lead the people and say, you know what, we are going to suffer for 40 days, no eating.
Yes.
And we are going to, and in suffering, the people see that the leader too is not eating. He's not drinking, he's praying. Our daddy G of RCCG called 100 days fasting. Millions of people across the world supported, and we agreed, and we first fasted. When I say posture, Nigerians want to see that government is also tightening their belt at the stores. That they're not buying cars, as you said it a bit casually. But those cars, the perception to the people is that you're not doing what you're asking us to do. Issue of federal character, are you ensuring that your appointment is spread across where everybody feels like I'm part of the So if the perception instead of the posture is like, okay guys, these are difficult, but I'm ensuring that you don't feel marginalized, you don't feel in a certain way, and you see what I'm doing. Maybe Nigerians will not feel the way they are feeling as
it's a good point you're making, but this is an argument that keeps coming up and up and up again. You cannot expect a leader to live the same way they live in Mushi because of the responsibility that he has with him. You can't say he cannot have the car.
Jakonde did
because
it now.
You have Jakonde. Jakonde did it. Yeah. Jakonde was riding a very big car. He was riding what they call it, Toyota Crown. How many people had Toyota Crown in Lagos?
Jakonde
was riding Toyota Crown. That's his favorite car. So he was not living in flamboyance.
Yes, he wasn't.
But there's no evidence to show that even Tinubu is living in flamboyance today. He lives in Aso Rock, which is built for him. Does he eat more than any other person? I don't think so.
People around him,
People around him, do you have any evidence of that? There's also a perception that there's a certain grandeur about being in office. Once you are there, you are there. But nobody has come to say this person is living a big life, or Bayo Onanuga is living a flamboyant life, or Dele Alake is living a flamboyant life, or Wale Edu is living a flamboyant life. Nobody has come to say so or has seen it, but there's that sense that you want to believe.
We can suggest it, sir. Then, you know why we can suggest it? When we say that I am moving from Mushi to VI Mushi is not from Ipaja to VI on my work day, and I used to spend 5,000 in a week, and now I'm spending 50,000 in a week, and it's a huge bill. And Bayo Onanuga says, naysayers You are not serious. What do you want? Must the president come and move the same way you move? Of course, it's suggestive of the fact that it is something you cannot connect with because you're living in
yes,
Lagos.
I agree.
So you are disconnected from that reality, but that does not make it change the reality of some Nigerians who are going through it.
I agree. Reality is very difficult.
Reality
is very difficult to say. For instance, you talk about going to work. The president walks from his house to the office every day. Do you know
the office they one place.
It's a long distance. Because before it's just like somebody who walks from here.
You run out of time. We run out of time.
Daily bread.
So we run out of time.
It's daily bread. It's working for.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up there because we've run out of time. Thank you so much for coming.
I'm
wishing you the best on your new book.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.